Hey guys, Huzz here bringing you another video and welcome to a new champion video. Yes, it's that time already. Excuse if my voice is a bit croaky, I'm a bit ill. New year. But anyway, this is for Smolder, the fiery fledgling. Smolder is a dragon, as you probably know and could guess, and is also, which this is the part that surprised me more than any, is an AD carry, and like a legit AD carry. Isn't like a spell casting mage that you play bot lane. No, they're an AD carry. It just doesn't quite look like it, and you'll get what I mean soon. But yeah, it's a AD carry, caster marksman. Gameplay identity, scaling caster marksman that relies on spells as primary damage output. This output starts off small but grows to be quite formidable. And the dream is burning the entire team fights with large AoE. Scorching full lanes with Smolder execute small groups of enemies. So is basically TLDR, Smolder is a hyper scaling caster AD carry that is a god of team fights in late game. So the way that we're going to do it, as always, I'm going to bring up the abilities on the screen. I'll let it play once or twice depending how long it is so you can hear the audio, and then I'll obviously explain the ability. But thanks very much obviously for League Partner for providing all this stuff and having the meeting. I think the clips actually weirdly have a kind of a watermark saying League Partner meeting kind of thing, but obviously I'm part of the LPP program, so I'm allowed to use them for this video. But anyway, let's get into the passive first, which is Dragon Practice. So as you can see, a little bit already of ramping up, but hitting champions with abilities and killing enemies with Super Scorcher Breath, we'll get that in a moment, that's his Q, grants Smolder a stack of Dragon Practice. Stacks increase the damage of Smolder's basic abilities. So pretty much just for scaling. We're actually getting quite a look of different abilities, by the way, within this passive, because the passive itself is more like a marking thing. So now we'll get onto the Q, that is Super Scorcher Breath. So the Q is most likely what you're going to be maxing as a lot of champions in League. And this is Smolder belches flame at his enemies. The ability evolves as stacks gaining the following. So at 25, damages all enemies surrounding the target. At 125, sends explosions beyond the target that deals 75% of this ability's damage. And at 225, burns the target, dealing max health true damage over 3 seconds. Enemy champions that drop below a total health threshold while burning are killed instantly. So yes, at maximum stacks, and this is the hyper scaling aspect of this champion, and obviously at max stacks it's going to take a while to get to in the game, but you're going to be doing max health, true damage over 3 seconds, that then is an execute. So that's quite strong, but in principle, well, it's not even strong in principle, it's strong in general. But now we'll move into the W, that is Achoo. So yeah, pretty basic ability here. And that's the thing that you have to remember, everybody. This is an AD carry, technically. AD carries in just general design tend to be more basic because obviously their primary, mechanic is positioning, and Smolder is no exception. That will be Smolder's primary mechanic, is movement, of positioning yourself to auto attack and use spells effectively while moving. And again, Smolder's range isn't very high. But anyway, Smolder's W Achoo is Smolder lets out an adorable flaming sneeze, damaging and slowing enemies. Hitting champions causes an additional explosion. So just a nice little extra bit of oomph damage, but nothing over the top, nothing major. And that's obviously what they're kind of going for with at least a W for this champion. Now moving into the E, which is called, gives it a bit away, Flap, Flap, Flap. So unsurprisingly, a dragon that can fly a little bit. So it kind of looks a bit like Akshan E, but obviously Akshan roots himself to a structure and swings around it. You're not doing that exactly, obviously, as Smolder, but it's a very similar in terms of you're flying around and the auto attacks are happening automatically. So officially, it is Smolder takes flight, gaining movement speed and ignoring terrain for 1.25 seconds. While flying, Smolder attacks the lowest health enemy. So you don't prioritize who you're attacking yourself. It will naturally attack the lowest health enemy. So obviously, if there's two people in your range, but one of them is lower, it will go for that person. Which could be good, obviously, because that's maybe the person you want to execute. But sometimes that might not be a great thing because it's doing it for you. So there's both goods and bads there. But that is, again, every champion should have both strengths and negatives. And that you could see as a negative of you don't have complete control always. So it's good that there are some negatives too. And now getting to the ultimate that is called Mom, basically. Hello, Mum. So yes, it is called Mom. So Smolder's mum breathes fire from above, dealing extra damage and slowing enemies in the center of her fire. Mum also heals her son if she hits him. So quite Syndragoza, kind of, I would say, if anyone obviously is familiar with the Warcraft universe. You know, Arthas, if you play him in... Oh god, what was there? Even Blizzard's version of League is a very similar ability to this. So yeah, pretty cool ability overall. So now what I'll do is just kind of talk about the champion a little bit more, but I'll bring up a gameplay video so you guys can just see what normal lane phase is like. And yes, just reminding everybody, Smolder is an AD carry. You can see in the bottom right, and you'll see it throughout the rest of these clips, they are buying an AD carry build. The only thing that I would say is it does throw me off, but what this champion is an AD caster. So it's kind of a mage-like champion built for bot lane, but the scaling and everything is AD. So that's why it is an AD carry. So the one thing I will say is Riot is actually quite proud to say, and it was quite weird to hear, this is the first dragon champion. And you might be like, what? Is it? Yes. So officially, Aurelion Sol isn't a dragon. He's a celestial being. And Shyvana isn't a dragon. She's a half dragon. So this is actually League of Legends' full ever first dragon champion. Skill ceiling shouldn't be incredibly high. Again, most AD carries aren't that hard to play. It's more, you know, getting the positioning down and maximizing that rather than the champion itself being that hard. And yeah, build pretty standard AD carry stuff. You know, typically going to be similar to like a Xayah and stuff like that. So Xayah obviously does auto attack like Smolder will, but Xayah also is a casting AD carry using her Q and E and stuff like that. But Smolder's even more caster than a Xayah, for example. But yeah, there are certain obviously items that you'll know will be quite good for Smolder. Obviously, yes, there's the item changes upcoming soon, but overall, yeah, it's an AD carry, but a spell-orientated one. And again, what's quite weird to me, and you can see it in this gameplay, big AoE fire abilities, that is doing big AoE damage as an AD champ. It does play with the mind a little bit, because you're expecting that type of playstyle to be a mage, but it's not officially an AP mage, it's an AD carry. So I think it is going to take a little while for some people to get used to that, or everyone to get used to that, because it's not what you're expecting. As for what stops this champion being in mid lane, by the way, I think partially because he is very weak in the early game. So part of like the nicety of an AD carry who is weak in the early game is in bot lane you have a support with you who can help you through that lane phase, and that's what Smolder wants. He's a hyper scaling AD carry that wants that extra level of protection of a support that can get him to mid to late game. I'm sure some people may try to play him other places, but he's probably going to be quite killable, is what I would say. So yeah, I think his place, obviously, he's everything in balance. The way that Riot is designing him, it's for bot lane. So that is obviously how Riot is moving forward with him anyway. So overall, I think he's actually pretty cool. Does feel kind of not absolutely broken. And it's the weird thing. If I saw this kit with all this AoE, with all this fire, and it was an AP mage, I think like some people watching this, you'd go, ooh, he's going to be OP. But because it is an AD carry, I think it actually does... It reduces the craziness of it, you know? I think it is a little bit less crazy. So there's that clip. And then, hello, I'll put this one on, which is just showing some combos of how everything can kind of work together, of all your abilities together. So ultimately, I think he's a really cool champion. Let me know what you think of him down below. Obviously, as a celebration of this video and obviously him being announced, if you be a subscriber and like the video and comment what you think of him, make sure to include your summoner name and server. I will give away him and his launch skin to one person who does that. So subscribe, like, and comment down below, and you'll be entered to win Smolder and whatever his launch skin will be. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, though. Pretty cool champion. I'm actually looking forward to playing myself. This is the type of AD carry that I would say I'm looking forward to, because my favorite AD carry is Ezreal, because he's typically the most casting AD carry in the game. Well, apparently move over, because this is an actual caster, you know? It's definitely going to give an Ezreal a run for his money when it comes to a casting AD carry for sure. But yeah, mage players like me will love playing him when we're autofilled bot lane, because he's basically like a mage. He's just an AD carry. But anyway, that's gonna be it. If you guys did enjoy, let me know. Do throw a like on it, throw a comment, throw a subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Call down the reckoning to bring back hope and peace. Restore our glory to live forever. Bring down the dark regime.